two, three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto, MrFOMO. MrFOMO, finally, and thanks to all of you that are joining us. Remember, if you're not done so, please hit that like and most importantly, that subscribe button as we edge our way, hopefully to 600 and hopefully 1,000 in the near future subs. MrFOMO, big time information today coming from the hearing and before that the law firm, and we're glad to be wrong here. We weren't very optimistic yesterday, is going to go forward with the initial plan. And so I want to share some important information here that people need to be aware of. Thanks to our friend Neville here with the tweet. So basically, 35.7 is the number. That's going to stay the same. We were worried that because the market kind of tipped below that would change, but that has not. That's great news, number one. Number two, starting as early as tomorrow, you will see your new distribution number for the initial one at 35.7%. Okay, so that's important to understand. Now, you will not be able to withdraw tomorrow. The withdrawal dates are going to be between June 20th and July 5th. We need more clarification on that. Does that mean it's going to be open June 20th? Does that mean it's going to be open July 5th or in between? Still to be determined. So the 35% is coming. If you have unsupported tokens, any of those are going to be USDC. Remember, that was the initial plan. So that's great news. We did have some bad news. The FTX mediation, which could account for as much as 28% of recovery, that's been put on hold in the fall. So that sucks. There, I think the 3AC, don't even think about it. It says here, and this is true, it came out in court, Voyager has a claim of $650 million, but that doesn't mean they're going to get anywhere near that amount of money. Remember, this thing's been going on a year, and they've liquidated $2 million in NFT sales to all the creditors combined. So take that for what it's worth. But at least, and we've said this before, so we want to be careful. No guarantees at all. It looks like we are. Can I say we're headed towards our initial distribution, at least on paper, finally?
I think that what we're seeing here is at least positive motion. And with the, as I looked through the document, I saw that we definitely were heard, on page 2 and in the conclusion, Paul Hage acknowledges the creditors, acknowledges the frustrations, acknowledges the stories that he heard over the last couple of weeks. And so you were definitely heard. And I want to personally thank everybody who's watching, that called in, that wrote in, that said something or did something to get involved in this, because that is the difference maker. We talked about this before. There was nobody really sticking up for us other than us, right? Creditors like Gina.
Absolutely.
Us, Ray Workin, whoever else, Coin, Shib, I forget, Satoshi, whatever he's calling himself now. All these people who are holding spaces out there, who are objecting, who are writing in, calling, just informing everyone of what's going on. Those people made the difference. And those of you who called in to the law firm, you really made the difference. And thank you for that. I want to personally thank you, because he acknowledges that over and over again in this briefing. But like you said, the app will be updated in the next couple of days. Initial distribution is supposed to be between the 20th and July 5th, and you'll have 30 days to withdraw in-kind crypto. The initial percentage is 35.72%. Now, they do acknowledge that there could be holdups. There could be problems with, say, on when they initially open the app, there could be what they described as a lot of people going in, but what they're saying is there's a bank run probably, So there may be problems there with volume. There may be problems with security and anti-fraud. So your withdrawal may be held up just so they can make sure that you are actually who you are. And then technological limitations, which probably has to do more with volume and bank runs and stuff like that. But they do acknowledge that there could be some holdups. So be ready for that.
Yeah, they said 3 to 7 days, possibly worst case scenario. But listen,
Communication will be forthcoming prior to the
and
20th, though.
and by the way, Mr. FOMO, I'm trying to share that tweet on the show that I put up earlier. I'll have it in the queue. There we go. Yeah, you guys made a huge difference. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, okay? Because there was no one fighting for the creditors. It wasn't the UCC. The reality is and I'm not just talking about the show, we're a small show, but we as creditors, anyone that's watching and anyone that participated, put more pressure on these guys than the UCC. We've had more effect in this than the freaking UCC. It's sad, but it's true. So thank you. This is only the start. We got to keep pushing. We can't be happy with the 35.7. Now, unfortunately, the Alameda FTX mediation has been pushed to the fall. We don't even have a date for that. So that's something that we got to continue to ask questions about. Like I said, 3AC, I'm not excited about. I'm not excited about third-party claims. I think those are pipe dreams until they show us otherwise. But at least it's something, right?
Right, and they do acknowledge they did acknowledge in the paperwork that the FTX Alameda and the 3AC claims were still outstanding and they were still pursuant to those. And we've talked about how much money is set aside to go after those. And really, as a creditor, if they're not going to get me back an equal percentage as to what they're wasting going after these companies, I don't care about it. So if you're not returning 5% to me, then don't bother.
But here's the deal. We now know that communicating does help. So, after the distribution, if we are unhappy with something, let's continue to push.
Yes, and if you look down below, I've put the Voyager Distribution Help Center website in there. That is for frequently asked questions about the distribution. That should be up. If it's not up already, it should be up in the next couple of days. That was in the paperwork from them. So you can go to that website to get your frequently asked questions answered. Hopefully they'll have your question there for you, but that's there. It's also in the description below. So if you don't catch it while you're watching the video, you can catch it in the description. You also have those numbers to the judge and to Paul Hage, their law firm, still available to you down there in the description below. So if you still need to be heard, you can make yourself heard.
Some great information. This is the first distribution. Unfortunately, it looks like we won't get more for a while. So that's the thing. Remember, mediation is no guarantee to work. So if, let's say, mediation is September and after a month they don't get anything done, that means the trial is at least a month later at minimum. And so my concern is this FTX Alameda, although this is a good day, that looks like it might not be resolved until 2024, which absolutely does suck. But again, there's not much we can do about that. It is what it is. But here on the show, if you are a Voyager creditor, we're going to be focused on taking that 35.7 and maximizing it so that you can get as much out of it as you can. We've been giving you guys picks all throughout the weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to talk less about court hearings and more about actual crypto and making some returns. And so
before we stop talking about Voyager, just remember, check your email, because before Monday, you should get some communication from Voyager and from the plan administrator on what happens next.
So, and tomorrow, open the app, because they're supposedly going to have that 35.7. Remember, they have your total. Well, the app's not open right now, but when the app was open, they had your total number of your claim, right? What you're going to see tomorrow, and hopefully they have both side by side. That would be nice if they didn't take away the initial one. Hopefully right underneath or right on top or right next to it, they'll have, here is your 35.7. And hopefully they even have a breakdown. That might be asking for too much, what your 35.7 is. Because remember, unless you had one token, it's going to be 35.7 in kind. Now, a lot of you are going to be receiving a lot more USDC than you had before, because remember, the unsupported tokens are going to be in USDC. So I think we'll definitely have something to talk about tomorrow, because we'll be able to go into the app, Mr. FOMO, and take a look at what it looks like.
That's something I wanted to make clear. Don't expect anything from the app until tomorrow. They said in the paperwork that the app won't be updated until the 15th, but they do not give a time. And so you'll have to wait and see tomorrow when.
Yeah, there's no
exactly they
guarantee it's
do
going to be in
update
the
it.
morning. And remember, no withdrawals tomorrow. That date is going to be the 20th, which is less than a week from today, through July 5th. We don't know if it's actually going to be June
That's when it
20th.
may start. Just to be clear, it may start between those dates and then run for 30 days beyond that.
Yeah. And then FTX, fall is a big number. I mean, football season starts
Yeah.
at the end of August, but fall for most people is September, October, November. So that is pretty alarming. Again, not much we can do. Hopefully, I mean, cross your fingers that mediation works, but realistically, this thing can go to trial, and we're just trying to be realistic. That could stretch into 2024. So just a heads up on that. And then who knows about the rest, right? But you got to make do what you have. And 35.7 is still horrible, but 35.7 is better than 0. And things are definitely looking better than they were a couple days.
It gets the ball rolling, right? Like
yeah.
we're back in action. Let's go.
Yeah, we're back in action. We've got some new picks for you tomorrow. So please come join us. We'll be talking about the app, what it looks like, all that wonderful stuff, anything that hits. We'll be here. We appreciate you guys greatly for helping us grow the channel. Anything you can do to help by sharing, retweeting, we would greatly appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow, guys. Remember, June 20th, 35.7%, could start as early as June 20th. Tomorrow, the app should reopen, and it should have your 35% distribution number right on there. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto. Thanks, guys. We hope to see you back tomorrow. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
See ya.